All right, welcome to Game Theory. We're at Firefly. This is our Tuesday game. I'm Alan, and I'm here with
Dan Weinman,
yes, sir.
fresh back from Vegas, little World Series of Poker action, but back to what I really enjoy doing.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. Sarah, full support. Selena, Ace King here.
Ace King, 5 big blinds, kind of nice hand to find when you're that short.
Are the positions right there? Because it says Selena calls it a small. Oh yeah, she calls and interesting call there. Anyway, Dan, how's Vegas been?
Vegas has been good. I played like 6 or 7 tournaments. I had 4 cashes.
Jeez, really?
Nothing super exciting. I got like a couple top 30s and stud event, a Badoogie event, but no deep runs really. We'll see. Back out next week for some more. Tried to sharpen my skills a little bit here tonight, and
yeah,
they got me. That's pretty.
You're really well.
At one point I was, but one of the players at this table kind of took a lot of my chips.
Oh yeah. Was it Sarah?
It was.
Yeah.
Her first time, I think, playing poker ever. So I heard.
Oh really?
And now she's chip leader at the final table here, so maybe she was lying a little bit. We'll find out.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Well, yeah. Do you know what events you're gonna be playing, or do you kind of just improvise?
Kind of just wake up every day and look at the schedule and play whatever looks good. So I think I'm going back out Wednesday. I guess tomorrow now, and I'll probably take a few days off. And the 50K Poker Players Championship is Sunday, which is like my favorite tournament of the year.
But what's that?
It's a 8-game tournament, so horse plus no limit plus PLO plus triple draw.
They change like every level?
Every 6 hands it changes.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so it's basically you play an orbit of each game, change the game. So it's really like
interesting.
A true test of who is the. I mean, it's a tournament, so it's hard to say, but it's like the best poker player in the world generally should win that. Should be the biggest favorite in that tournament.
Right, because there's just so many different kinds of.
Correct. So you have to be like very competent at all of the games. The main event is obviously the most famous tournament and gives out the most money, but for like a lot of mixed game players, especially, and players at the top of the game, they think that the 50K is kind of the pinnacle.
Really?
For sure.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like the main or something.
I mean, everyone will remember the main event for sure.
You're not muted, are we? You're back. Let's see. Cat with Queen 7. Winner with King 10. Cat in the chip lead.
I guess we kind of missed some of the action here, but blind on blind. Listen, it went check.
Good fold, very good fold.
Yeah. And then he planned for solid tonight. After one, she will stay off the ball against me, but we're not going to talk about that.
But he wouldn't call.
Yeah, I had like one of my favorite hands.
And he called like the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had what here?
It's straight.
Yeah.
It's straight, but not how it goes.
Stuff. Which is crucial.
A couple of new faces I haven't seen before out tonight. I mean, I've definitely seen.
Won the last tournament actually.
Did you really? Okay. So
Yeah.
not seen Rich before or Mazda.
Yeah. I don't think Mazda's taken yet. First year.
Okay.
We raises it with Ace 10.
Like I've seen Armageddon time. He's solid there.
I feel like with Kushi, he's got to be shaking it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, actually, probably under the gun, yeah. But I'm guessing he limped here, and now he's kind of
Right.
facing Rays, and I feel like that fold.
Really?
It's going to be really hard. Unless you plus deuce, it's going to be a three-way pot.
Right. I guess the best thing you're looking for is just right.
Correct. If you need to jam, put the pot heads up, and hopefully win a flip. But going three ways to the flop, you just have no. Oh, you would have flopped the deuce.
Yeah.
How it usually goes.
Like it checks down to the river.
Yeah, so Snowman opened the spot, and Sarah ended up calling, and now you're checking down to the river. Sarah's making a little stab for like a quarter pot.
I like this bet. I feel like this board really hits a range. You know?
It does, and it kind of looks like she's trying to get some value.
Yeah.
And she is a little inexperienced, I would say.
Right.
She's got the poker face going on for sure.
Oh my god, this guy's here on the turn.
The problem is by betting this small, you just give
Right.
your opponent like way too good of a price
Yeah.
to say, kind of screw it and show me what you got.
I'm actually surprised she hasn't played before.
Yeah, she has very good instinct.
Good call. Good call there. Look at Armageddon. Like, he is focused, bro. Look at that guy.
Taking it all in,
Yeah.
trying to figure out how everybody plays.
Yeah.
The problem with playing, some of the newer players is,
Uh-huh.
you approach you from like a theoretical standpoint or expect people to play in like a pretty standard way,
Right.
and they're coming at you with stuff that they don't really know what they're doing.
Right.
Sometimes it makes it more difficult to play against.
Yeah, there's you have like a lot of those kind of players at the WSOP.
For sure, in the bigger blind events, you don't see a lot of that.
Okay, yeah.
The WSOP is they kind of lowered the buy-in on their smallest event every single year.
Oh, really?
So now there's a $300 buy-in event that gets, I wouldn't say complete amateurs. Everyone has played some poker, but it is a very soft game. So you have a lot of players that
Below my level?
way below your level.
Oh shit! No
you
way.
would, 100%. You'd be like a top 25% player in that group.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Dan,
I'm
no.
messing with you.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's the main event, 10K, and the biggest tournament in the world.
Right.
And it's not much harder than that $300 buy-in.
No way.
Yeah.
Dan is saying I would be top 25% in the main. He's gotta be fucking with me.
I mean, Alan knows about blockers.
Yeah, true. All right, let's see. All in with the ace 10 here. I think 6 has got to. Oh, that's a big. Yeah, 6 has got to call here. Oh yeah. Are we gonna make a call? Because we're just gonna have a pretty standard flip.
Yeah, when you look at the log stream.
Okay. Good. 8, 10. Yeah, that's the 10. It's the ace as well.
Oh my, the 6 on the river.
Yep. Pretty crazy. Flat. Yeah. Very lucky there. Nope. Wish I could rub my top there.
I mean, at the end of
Not everybody.
at the end of the day, it's a flip. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, it came 10-9, river 6.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on like the WSOP kind of lowering the buy-ins, having more people come through?
It's interesting. On the one hand, it's great, more inclusive now. When I started playing the series 15 years ago, the
Right.
smallest buy-in was, I think, 2K.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was most people that would go out there and couldn't afford 2K, they would play a ton of satellites, and the fields would be a little bit tougher on average, I would say.
I see.
But I think the World Series realized that the more events they run, the more rake they make. And it's a business. They're trying to make as much money as possible.
Right.
Like the $300 event they just had, it was a $500,000 to first, and that's incredible for a $300 buy-in. But people don't realize they raked like 1.3 million.
For each event they rake out the rate.
Each event in the smaller events are raked. astronomically higher than the bigger.
Really?
Yeah, it's harder to run. Like, in their defense, they're faster than a dealer. More people. Like there's a lot of things that go but it's always kind of like frustrating me when you play a tournament and the house is like three
Right.
times more than the guy that wins the thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like I wonder how often players think about that. You know what I mean?
Very rare. Very rare.
How much does that affect like your decisions when playing
It
tournaments?
does. In a small tournament like that, it's not going to because the player is going to have high enough ROI that he's not really going to care too much. But in bigger events like Rake can be a big issue. Like if you're playing in the high roller scene where people are fighting for the smallest of edges, a small increase in rate affects your bottom line.
Interesting. You play in those small events, or do you usually just
Not a ton.
play whatever you want?
Yeah, I would say my average fine is usually smaller, like 3 to 5K or so. But I mean, there's probably 10 to 15 events this summer that have a 25K or higher fine.
Right.
The World Series. So,
Why
like,
don't you just play in the highest ones? Like,
Yeah,
is it for money? Like, you don't want to spend it for money? Like, you
partially
won't
that,
enjoy it?
partially I just don't think I can compete on that level. Those guys like eat, sleep, breathe poker. They're not playing poker; they're studying poker. And I mean, if you want to be at the top of the game these days, that's the work. Sarah picking up another pot here.
Yeah, you block 4 ways.
And in his chip leader, I was at her starting table today. She said it was literally her first hand of poker she's ever played.
Really?
And she won the first 3. It was fun to see.
Yeah. I remember my first APC tournament as well.
think
I
you
got
won-
first.
Oh yeah, we may see a repeat here. The record is
Definitely.
in danger.
Yep. Very interesting, yeah. Alright, let's see. We got 7 players left. Oh, look at Cat's actually in the chip lead now. We got the game going on the side. So they're on the blue table. I heard they're doing some poker out loud type of thing.
Where is that?
You see on the blue table?
Oh yeah.
Poker out loud. Is that just that's where you say out loud like what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think that's a Matt Berkey crew. They invented
Oh,
that
yeah.
where they have like a table of pros playing with headphones on, so they can't hear each other,
Yeah.
and they're kind of dictating all of their thoughts. So
So
it's kind of cool getting to hear.
wait, how do you get access to that content? It's like
I think it's a paid program. It's a business. Everything these days. You want to get better at poker. I mean, there's a good amount of free content online these days.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's probably worth it. If you end up playing poker for any significant amount of money, paying a few $1,000s is going to return that investment
definitely.
in multiple.
Have you played much with Berkey?
Very little.
He's a tournament player, right?
He was a tournament player. Now he plays mostly like high stakes cash games in Vegas. I did his podcast when I was out there, and we talked a little bit. And I'd forgotten that we had made a final table together like 5 or 6 years ago.
Right.
In like a 1500 6 max, I think. But that was probably the most I've ever played with him.
Oh, I see. Is it just like didn't run into him, that kind of thing?
Pretty much. I think like when he was playing tournaments, I was playing cash.
Oh.
And we kind of flipped at some point.
When did you start playing tournaments again?
2014 or so. I feel like most of the kids that were coming up around my time started playing tournaments.
Why didn't you start earlier? We're like,
I started earlier. I was playing cash earlier. Like the first 3 or 4 years I played full time. I played cash.
But why did you play cash instead of tournaments then?
I just got into that first. Like that's when I was learning poker in college and high school. Like my friends and I played cash. And that's what I started playing online when online poker was still around in the U.S.
Are most people just like solely cash or tournament players, or are there a lot of people who kind of play both?
There's a fair amount of people that play both.
Okay.
Check his guard. Check as well. Good turn. Nice. Check. 7,000. Call.
Alright.
Show 7. Show that king.
Oh man, I think he bet. Monta checks over, and then the big Snowman just gives up. Very like Monta's profile picture.
I haven't seen it. Okay, in a second. Did the structure change? It feels like the last couple times I played, there were a lot either more chips in play or the blinds were higher. Right?
Yeah. I think one reason is they got APC games, so there are a lot more people.
Oh,
So by the
that's
time
true.
it gets on the final,
Yeah, I feel like it was like a million chips in play with
Right.
guys, and here we have like 200K in
Right,
play,
it's like it's
300K
only
in
2K,
play.
4K right now. I think it started
Right.
off with like 1-2 or something.
Exactly.
The other thing is also there was just a lot of action in the beginning of the tournament, right? So a lot of people got
True.
knocked out.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like
Or there was a wild hand like the very first hand of the tournament.
yeah. I had kings under the gun. I opened, close to the button, P2 bet. Yeah, I put bet. P5 bet. Then the flop came like queens scores, and the check he shoves. Now it's pretty sure he had aces, so you know. Aces, kings.
I kind of like both.
I think I should have just shoved it though, honestly. Looking back now.
Yeah, but all right, think of it this way: like, all right, he's always free betting you with some very strong range
Right.
early in the tournament. You know,
Right.
it's mostly like fairly passive players that we have,
Right.
and then you 4-bet. And what do you think is our betting range?
I think okay, it has to be just aces, right? Ace, king, queens, maybe. No way he has kings, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously things, but I wouldn't. I think
Really?
it's literally
Right.
kings and aces.
Yeah, because 5-bet. Yeah, and
Right.
people aces. Yeah, ace. Right. So up comes queen. I'm like, yeah, he either has ace or queen. I'd be nothing. I'd be like ace king, maybe. You know.
Exactly.
It's like there's no way.
I mean, I
So,
think
yeah,
you
I'm
can maybe find a way to fold pre-flop. I'm not
Okay.
saying that it's pre-flop. I'm not really a guy that folds anything.
Yeah. So I almost puked when I saw that, but you know, I did have the redraw to the flush out. Yep. Oh, Armageddon Q has 9 skill. Armageddon's a really strong player. He has one of the highest RF scores here. See, what is he thinking about doing? I feel like with 8 bigs. Yeah. What the fuck? Was that a mystery? That Robin to his nines. Did he fold? There's no way he folded. I don't know what happened. Alright, looks like we got 3s versus 3-2.
Snowman has a thing for this 3 deuce off. This is what he
Oh,
got
really?
me with. Yep. Limp under the gun. I raised pretty big from the big blind and came along and got the 4, 5, 6.
Interesting. Oh. There's a gutter now.
You're gonna go ahead and see bet. And this is like, if these guys were deep, this would be a great spot for Snowman to find a check raise. But I mean, he literally just has a min raise here
Because
left.
this flop favors his range a lot
I
more.
wouldn't say it favors his range, but just Pat's gonna have a lot of air. He's just gonna have a lot of 2 over cards. He's gonna see that. He's gonna see that this at a high frequency
And then with like a decent sizing, like you gotta pull 2 overs.
for sure. And Snowman has a hand that can't really. I mean, it has 4 outs to the effective nuts, but it's gonna print money by check raising and picking up the dead chips.
Sense. So what's he doing?
So
Makes
instead,
the call.
I mean, this is the problem of calling up with 19K behind. If he doesn't hit his 4, he has to do what? I mean, he's just gonna check and end up
Obviously,
probably
Pat's just
folding.
gonna Pat puts him all in. Right?
I mean, I'd be terrified betting this turn if I was Pat. It's like your opponent calls a 10-6-5 flop with no chips behind.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine him ever folding a pair. And
Right. Did
all
Pat
the-
think he was bluffing there, or?
I think so, but I can't imagine what he expect. Snowman to fold after check calling the flop, perhaps.
Yeah, I think Snowman mentioned that yet ago. Kind of soon, so
That does make sense.
I'm not.
But I also think he has a thing for the 3 deuce off. It's one of the 2.
I like how the hoodie actually matches the table color.
It does look very
That's
similar
kind
to
of
the table.
Do you know when Rampage? Yeah, exactly. Do you know when Rampage won the WPT with the cyan? No, that's not the color.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe it's okay. Oh no, it's a cyan sauce.
Oh, cyan.
And it's like, okay, this is it's like bright blue greenish, you know?
And it was the same color as the belt or something?
Aqua, yes, it was aqua. Aqua, you got an aqua hoodie with the luck box. The luck box. You know
I
what I'm
do
talking
remember
about?
that, yeah.
So I wear that whenever I'm on that blue table there. It matches completely. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. I feel like we could do something with making all the players wear like the same color
Oh,
hoodies.
wow. Sarah with
Oh,
two queens,
Oh,
two
that's
red
big. Oh,
queens.
she makes up. She traps. Oh, that's
Just
big.
limps
Oh
in.
my God, Snowman!
All right.
I don't know how she does this.
This is a really great play. Like, I don't know if she realizes that she's doing this. I'm going to assume that she does, but because she's played a lot of hands
Right.
pre-flop and just called, it's really good to call with your really good hands.
Right,
Right. You kind of keep balance. If
Right.
you're just calling with your bad hands and raising with your good hands, it becomes very easy to figure out this, relative strength of your hand.
Oh, she's gotta make sure. Yep. That way she's just put it down. Oh my
Sarah
God.
with two queens
Massive, bro. Oh, I can't imagine being with opponents with
and a hefty pour of red wine, it looks like. But she is in a dominating
Yeah.
position here to knock out someone that was her arch nemesis at
Oh,
our
really?
starting table.
I see. Oh,
Okay, 10 4 3 flop, pretty safe. 6 times is going to end it.
there's like butter now.
Oh, yeah. It's 7.
Queens, fold.
Queen's going to hold. Sarah gets the knockout.
That is pretty crazy. I wonder what you think of Tyler right now.
Takes over the chip lead. 6 left.
He is killing it in this field. Has no he is sweating there.
It's going to be very bad for me if Sarah wins this tournament, as we're going to Vegas tomorrow, and
Right.
she might want to enter the 50K instead of me.
Oh yeah, anybody can enter, right?
Yeah, I
Any of
mean,
these tournaments.
the greatest thing about the World Series is that, with the exception of the ladies event and the seniors event and the dealer or the employees event, it's all open. So
Right.
if you show up with a buy-in, you can play. They've kind of priced the average Joe out of a lot of these tournaments. I mean, they have a 250K buy-in this year. I mentioned earlier they have so many 25K plus that you're not going to need a recreational player to come off the street and never play that. That's why there's kind of a plethora of $300 to $1,000 events.
Right.
But I would say, in the 3 to 5K events, you get a nice mix of people who just kind of want to take a shot. It's not going to break the bank, but
One day for me. One day.
you'll be there. I like your chances. Stick with that ZBT game for a few more years.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've been running pretty hot, honestly. Man, I've been in the red ever since I started playing, right? I've been like down thousands of dollars in the past couple weeks. Either, bro. And now I'm up. It feels really weird.
Okay.
It feels really weird being profitable. I've always just been bad. In Newfound comp.
There you go.
I'm like less attached to those chips.
Okay. I mean, that's like, you definitely have to detach yourself from money. It's impossible to play if you're thinking about what you can be spending this on, or like being afraid to lose money because you have certain things you need to do with that. Like
Oh my goodness!
Sarah with another monster picks up the Ace King of Clubs.
What's she gonna do?
I'd like
Oh my
to
God,
see
she
her
makes-
just call again.
Makes.
Okay.
I think that's a great play.
I agree.
Oh, Armageddon is definitely thinking about doing something here with
For
10
sure, especially with a lot of people
No?
kind of short.
Armageddon is a pretty patient player. Gene is shoving it here. What?
Jane just went with the Ace 6 from the small blind, but he's getting a good price. If I'm in his spot, I'm going to shove there and hope that Sarah just kind of limp the bad hand. And
Right.
20K. Because picking up the 8,000 there is huge.
Oh fuck, bro.
Chips ahoy.
Shoot.
Players ahoy.
Oh, I didn't know Tyler was 7. Oh, maybe he wasn't. Gene makes I really. Sarah mixed them.
Sarah just makes a great pull.
It's a great pull.
For a first-time player, like, she's showing a lot of, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Wow.
with very good instincts. Seems to know when she's ahead, know when she's behind and needs to bluff. I mean, she doesn't quite understand, what kind of sizing to use or, what, the purpose of different sizings can accomplish. But like, definitely has a very sharp brain in terms of where she's at. It's huge. Like, those are just kind of instincts you can't really teach. comes from years of playing poker.
Yeah.
And I think she's on hour 3.
Well, you said this was her first time playing, but like, does she know like the strength of like flushes are better than straights, better than sets,
I
like
would
nothing?
say no because there was a couple hands at our table where she rivered the nut flush and just called a river bet up against a straight.
I see.
She did bet a river on a one line or two straight against me with a set and turned to me and said, "I'm not sure what beats what."
So that could have been an angle that honestly
It could have been. She may just be hustling me the whole time.
Did you call or
Both times, no.
Oh,
One was they were not against me.
okay.
But one was against Snowman. He ended up folding. But
I see. He probably didn't have anything.
you know what? She could be lucky.
Yeah.
It might be just an all-around ringer.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about going to Vegas like July 4th too, but I'm really not sure. Like, if I'm not 21, then what else is there to do? I guess. Like, will I still be able to like enter the floor and like check things out? You know?
Yeah. Basically, nobody IDs. Like if you register an event, you have to give them a player's card, and to get a player's card, you have
so
to
that's
give them
not
an
gonna
ID.
happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So like you wouldn't be able to play in the events.
Right. But I can walk around like.
100%. You can walk through the casino and walk in the poker room and watch everything going on.
Sweet. Oh, Sarah, and what is going on right now?
So this is just like obviously getting great hands. This is a little bit of the inexperience and not realizing okay, Armageddon has like 6 big blinds to start this hand.
Shoving here.
Right, let's shove and like we want to just shut the other 2 people out of the pot.
Unless Armageddon gets an ace. Okay. Armageddon is in position. I feel like this definitely favors his range. Oh wow.
For sure. Yeah, the problem with him opening to half his stack is he doesn't really have the ability to see that here.
Sarah puts him all
And Sarah just like using her big stack to the advantage.
Yep. That's a tough play down right there.
But a good one. He made a good read. He was beat. Sometimes you just gotta save the last 3 wiggles.
Yeah, A7 might have just up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have just shoved pre-flop and I'd be out of the tournament because Sarah would have found the 2 tens in the small blind.
Right. And that would just be unfortunate.
It's interesting when you play like against different classes of players. Like if you're in a tournament with a bunch of professionals, you kind of want to go play a more theory-based style.
Sure.
You're going to want to make that up with A7.
Right.
But against maybe weaker players or players that don't know how to play fold as well, like you can actually make some pretty cool exploits about raising certain portions of your stack and saving the rest in flops, or maybe bluffing certain flops where if you had to shove pre-flop, you were always getting called.
Interesting. You have to do that often.
It depends. I think it, the smaller buy-ins that I play, I find myself playing a lot more of an exploitative style.
Okay.
Maybe a lot more bluffing, just because people are a little bit scared to call off the tournament live.
Like you will put them all in?
For sure. I mean, I play a lot of pots where I might bet 10 times the pot on the river just because I know like this guy will not call his entire stack off that.
Would you do that even if like what if he covers you? Would you
potentially?
Would you like go all the way?
I mean, it's very dependent. Like every situation in poker is so dependent on so many things.
Right.
But the main point is just that against different competition, like it's not always right to play, the quote unquote GTO style.
Right.
Definitely like it's good to know and like have the basis, but it's also nice to be able to make exploits and make money out.
So when did GTO start becoming more of a thing?
I would say in the past 5 or 6 years, it's become really huge. I think the first solver came out about 10 years ago.
Right.
And people who were at the top then quickly realized like this is meant to make poker. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, the first heads-up bot came out that beat the top players in the world, Doug Polk and a few other players, and everyone said the computers are better than us.
Was that? Oh, he hits the straight there.
Okay. Armageddon with the double.
Well, were those games televised?
I don't think they were televised. I think they were held at Carnegie Mellon. So they developed the bot,
Oh,
and
okay.
some of the top heads up players in the world went there. And I think Doug was the only one who even was like, he still got crushed, but the rest of them got
Was this
destroyed.
heads up, right?
It was just heads up, no limit.
Oh, no limit, really?
Yeah, which before then there was heads up limit poker bots,
Oh,
heads up
okay.
limit hold'em, just because it's a
Right.
much simpler game.
Right.
When you can pick your bet size, like the game goes explodes.
Right.
But now, I mean, that was 5 years ago. I think of where computing has gone in 5 years,
Right.
and it's just there are tools now that, I don't know how people really play online poker anymore, because there's tools out there that all you have to do is copy what the tool says, and you can't do it.
Wait, do you still play online or no?
No, I haven't.
When did you
years.
stop playing online?
I played full time online till about 2012 when the U.S. government shut it all down,
Right.
and then I dabbled for the past decade or so. But as soon as I realized, what tools people had out there, and it's cheating. I mean, it's 100% cheating, but
Yeah.
the sites just can't really do much effectiveness.
You can't like detect how close people are playing.
They can, but say you put a limit, like, okay, if this person is playing 80% GTO,
Right.
anything below 80 will allow. Then the cheaters are just going to make the bots play 80% GTO.
I see.
It's just kind of a lose-lose
But I guess
situation.
these poker sites, they don't really have that much to prevent using RTA, right?
It's like a
get
catch-22
ranked no
for
matter
them.
what, right?
It's tough because on the one hand they have to provide, they really want to provide a safe playing environment,
Uh-huh.
but the more players they ban, the less.
Right.
And they're spending money on security, and who knows what that costs for, AI detection of RTA. RTA being real-time assistance,
Right.
which is kind of like the shorthand for the computer program that
Right. You're shooting
tells you in real time.
Right.
Here's what to do.
Can computers solve spots that fast though? Like,
A lot of them do. Most of the ones that exist now, they've pre-solved all the spots.
oh really?
So it's not like
For no limit hold'em?
for no limit hold.
But only for certain bet sizings, right?
Correct. So
Or like stacks.
correct. But they've solved every single flop at probably 10 different stack sizes and 10
Really?
different bets. So at this point, it's become like a database lookup, whereas the actual computation might take hours
For each spot.
for each spot.
Oh, I see. Because like there's just a kind of infinite amount of bet sizes.
Exactly. All right. Well, I feel like we've gotten a little bit away from the action. Looks like we still have Sarah with a slight chip lead. And now at
Ace 3. What is she gonna do with Ace 3?
the 8K big blind level, she's chip leader with 13 blinds. So I'd like to see her just use her big stack here.
Out with the queens. Oh shit. Has Sarah called a lot of pre-flop shoves? Or does she usually focus?
We were at the same table for most of the tournament, and while she was playing a ton of hands pre-flop, limping in a lot, she wasn't calling off her stack often.
I see. Yeah, because I feel like that's the thing with beginners, like you said before, right?
Correct. So there's a lot of limp folding going on. Well, now Tyler finding the jacks. This will actually save Sarah. I hope.
I feel like when I was a beginner, like I'd like to see a lot of different colors because that means like better pot odds,
Exactly. And she does find a good fold here
An insta call there, right?
for sure.
Wow. Good for Pat. Pat's been killing it lately.
Yeah.
He runs bad some games for sure. But
Yeah, I
in general, he's been doing really
I
well.
think we played together 1 week, and I was impressed. He seemed very composed. Took his time. I feel like a lot of beginner poker players or recreational poker players, they don't realize how much they can play with their time. Like people that snap check back up flop generally just don't have any. Take even if it's just 3 seconds for every action,
Right.
it's a lot harder to play against.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So do you always take like the same amount of time?
I try to, and it's kind of become like an epidemic, especially in the high roller scene.
Oh, okay.
These guys play with a 30-second shot clock because otherwise they take 2 minutes for every.
Wait, why take that long when you could just make it a standard like 30 seconds for it.
They could, and I think that's why they put the shot clock in, so they
Right.
play with a 30-second shot clock. The problem with that is now they take exactly 30 seconds to make a decision. So even in a spot where they, like, someone opens, they defend the big blind, and they're going to check 100% of flops. They wait 30 seconds to check, and it makes poker not fun. I can't imagine being like a businessman who wants to shot in a $50,000 buy-in tournament, and you have 8 guys that are sitting there waiting 30 seconds for every element. It just wouldn't. It's not an
That's well
inviting
painful,
environment.
yeah. So you think that's happening in a lot of high stakes games?
And that's, I think, why private games, especially in cash, have become so popular, because those players that make the game not fun to play, and with pathfinding, another big player here. But the players that, they're very good players, but they're just not enjoyable to play with, they will not get seats in it.
That makes sense. Well, what about really good players who also make it fun?
That's the place to be in poker, right? We were talking earlier about a guy like Berkey, and that's kind of what he's done. He gets to play in very good games because he splashes around, he gives a lot of action, he's fun to play with. It's something that I've tried to do most of my career. And, I've been able to, fortunate to play in some private games, not as many as I would like. But
I think Sarah picks up a 2 here, gets jacks.
Ooh.
I don't think that's a pair.
Oh, for sure. Oh, she led. So she called out of the big blind here, and now he's leading the flop.
Oh, yeah, this might be the end of it.
It could be. This is tough. Like, when you first start playing poker, you're not really aware of the fact that you should always be checking to the pre-flop aggressor, because he does have a range advantage.
Oh my gosh, she's
But
gonna
not
ship it
advantage.
here. She's holding our chips. She's gonna ship it. Oh, she's really thinking about this one.
Decent thought. It makes a really good fold. It's hard to fold. It's hard to make a pair and hold it to begin with.
Right.
And then you invest a decent part of your stack. It's hard to throw it away.
Right.
It makes a good fold.
Yeah, we got Rachel TD here, picking people up. We got 5 players left. I don't think I've ever seen Matzo before. The Pat Trump player, Armageddon. Gene. I feel like Gene is a very patient player. You'll wait for the right spots.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's one of the toughest things about poker for me, especially in games with a lot more players, like 8-handed, 9-handed, where you can only play like maybe 15% of your hands, like kind of boring. You just gotta be really patient, wait for a good spots.
Yeah.
Go like an hour or 2 with nothing. And we're gonna have King Jack here. King Deuce. Matzo.
Must have found the King 10 in the big one, and it has an easy call, but unfortunately couldn't do it.
It's only 67 or 33 though. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, let's see what's going here. There's
Oh, it's 10 on the turn.
That is rough. That is rough for Armageddon. Yeah. Yeah, that was your hand, yep. We got Armageddon right here. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, it was a tough one. I was ahead, but it is what it is.
I feel like you get it in ahead a lot.
Right. It's at the end of the day, you just gotta do what you gotta do, right? Like you get in when you best you can, play your position, find the right spot, and play poker. If you get outplayed or outflop, it is what it is, and just wait till the next time, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Just trust the game, trust the process.
You played great, as per usual.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man.
I feel like I haven't seen you here for the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I was on vacation. I'm always on vacation. Don't judge me
Oh
about that.
no. You only live once.
Well, working from home to not working from Atlanta sometimes, right? So somewhere else. So it is what it was.
Sarah has tens again. What is?
She's on the heater, right?
Tell us what you think of Sarah. The rumor is this is her first time ever playing.
Well, that's good for her, right? She's been doing a good job all night.
Okay.
She's been playing her
Great
position
shot.
right. I don't know who coached her, but yo, kudos. Good job on, she came in solid, right?
Ooh, Pat's really thinking about this one. Dude, those Suda connectors. I love them Suda connectors.
It's hard to fold a hand that can flop a straight flush.
It's good watching the players not always pick up on the body language. When she
Absolutely.
started sipping when Pat's thinking, right?
Yeah. Makes a good point.
And she showed it like, yeah.
Ah.
Again. Anyway, I'll let you guys get back to the broadcast, man. Thank you guys.
Good to see you, man.
All right.
Takes down 12K. Nice.
All right, down to 4 now, and the stack's kind of even. We kind of have a winner take all structure here, so it definitely changes how you would play. Usually, you see Pat just kind of leaning on everybody else while everyone else tries to ladder up the day jumps. But since you have to win the tournament, the short stacks don't really care about laddering, so they should play a little bit looser, and Pat should actually play a little bit tighter than.
Oh,
you would
really?
expect.
So like they should be kind of like being more aggressive, going all in. So on the court right here, like, did you guys talk about her maybe making a final table? Winning?
No, on the card right here, she was like, "I'm not playing."
Oh, really? Why is that?
I mean, it's got to be hard. You know, you come into like a very male-dominated environment
for sure.
where people are potentially taking it very serious, and like she
Right.
doesn't know what she's doing.
Right.
You know, it's. I know I played with a lot of first-timers that are scared they're going to embarrass themselves or upset other people, but it's very people here while they do take it seriously. It's a very social environment. People are still having a good time.
Definitely.
It lacks the intensity that you'll see at like a major poker tournament. People are still talking at the table. It's not as cutthroat as you see some.
So at the WSCD dorm, it's like, is it that?
In some of the bigger ones,
Really?
in the smaller tournaments, yeah, at least at my tables, I try to get everyone talking and have a good time because
Oh,
at the end of the day, it's like poker's a social game.
Right.
It's not very fun to sit around and watch people fold for a straight hours.
Yeah.
You just try to make good decisions.
Yep.
Obviously, you're trying to do the best you can, but it's a lot more enjoyable when you learn about this guy on your right from Kentucky that ends up
Right.
being a billionaire.
Wait, has that happened before?
Yeah, I played with just some very interesting people, and you would never know if you're just sitting there with a hoodie and sunglasses and headphones.
Right. Does that affect your gameplay though? Like, if you talk to them,
For
that kind of
sure. I
thing?
mean, like learning about people's motivations is huge. If
Oh.
I remember like distinctly playing the main event with Cameron a couple of
Right.
years ago, and
Right.
he just told me from the start, this is my first tournament ever. I played poker at home. I really want to make it to day 2. And I'm just like, well, I'm probably gonna bluff you a lot.
Yeah.
But those are things that you never pick up on if you don't
Interesting.
talk at the table.
Interesting, but but if you're like kind of talking more, does that make you like, I guess, less focused on your game?
It does a little bit, but at the same time, to play 9-handed, especially no limit, at least for me, a game that I've played for 20 years now,
Right.
it's not a ton of focus necessary. So
I see.
I would rather enjoy myself and be a little more social at the
Right.
table than sit there and try to figure out, okay, exactly how this person is playing a turn spot.
Do you feel like the information you get from talking to them and like the potential edge that you can extract is
It's
a
pretty
lot more than
Yeah, especially
less focused?
especially in softer tournaments, just like learning about people's motivations and what drives them is potentially lead to better exploits than watching them play a hand that you think is incorrect.
Very interesting.
Ooh, an 8 on the river here.
Wow. Yeah.
River. Gene is going to
Gene
get the double.
Gene's been running pretty hot too. Last tournament was pretty good for him. I think it's interesting that you bring that up because on one hand, it's like it's a social thing. You want to get to know the other person. But on another, it's like anything you say and it will be used against you.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, it's like,
So
I mean, at the end of the day, like,
a little scary.
it's psychological warfare out there.
Oh, real.
But at the same time, like, it is a social game.
So how do like friendships in poker even form then? If like at the end of the day, it is a zero-sum game, right?
It's hard.
And then there's rake too. So it's like,
It's very hard. I mean, I've always found that friendships in poker are different.
Right.
In a social environment like we have here, where there's not really money at stake, it's a lot easier. But
right.
Inevitably, you're going to be playing with your close friends for a lot of money,
Right.
and it creates very very weird situations.
Right.
So it's hard. Like there's a lot of trust needed. It's I've told a lot of people that I've met some of the best people I've ever met in poker, and some of the worst in any industry with a lot of money floating around, and it's going to attract some bad people,
Right.
but the good people are going to make it work.
Interesting. Yeah, for me with like money, your personality is kind of just amplified,
For sure.
So like if you're kind of just like a person, you could be. But if you're like a really good person, you could be a lot better because now you can like be more yourself.
I agree.
You can kind of like, I guess, have less reservations and do whatever you want. Sarah, what is she gonna do? And some good focus.
Yeah,
She's making some.
She is.
How does she? She knows like the strengths of the hand,
Yeah.
Did you like give her any like pointers?
No, I honestly I did not.
Oh.
For the past 2 weeks I've been in Vegas.
Right.
I've been playing the World Series, and she's been like trying to sweat the updates, but there haven't been a ton of updates. And
Oh, like updates with your stack, how you're doing?
right, with like
Okay.
poker news updates or so.
Oh,
But
yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time, all the events I've gone deep in haven't even been holding. So it's like
Right,
I think she
right.
knows more about 7-card stud and Doogie at this point
I see.
than she does about No Limit Hold'em. But I mean, I think she has the idea that okay, we want to start with high cards and pairs are good.
Right.
And if someone else is putting a lot of money in the pot, they probably have one of those hands.
Right. She's really good at backgammon, right?
Yep. Good backgammon player. I feel like there's a lot of correlation between the two. I've recently gotten into backgammon big time, and I think it's a game where, on the surface, it appears like it's 100% luck, and behind the scenes, there's so much skill. It's like if you put the worst backgammon player in the world that knows the rules against the best in the world, the worst guy's probably going to win like 20 to 30% of the game.
You said the worst player?
Yeah, kind of like poker.
When we were playing in the office, I feel like you were actually beating me like 9-1. Right?
Yeah, but that's an average player against
Yeah, a beginner. Yeah.
a complete beginner. No, but it's just like on a game-to-game basis, there's a ton of luck in backgammon. Just like in a hand-to-hand basis in poker, the worst hand just wins.
I see.
30% happens a lot.
I guess I felt like with backgammon, since I was like losing at a pretty consistent rate, I felt like it wasn't actually that much luck. Because if it was actually based on luck, I would have won more.
That's fair. I mean, I would call you a complete beginner at backgammon
Right.
for sure, and I would say I'm like a mediocre player at this point.
Right.
So maybe it's like 90-10 or like the best to the worst.
I see.
But there's still like if the worst player just rolls better than the best player, like, he's just gonna win.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's very similar to poker, where the better players, they'll create situations, put themselves in a position to take advantage of them.
Didn't Sarah win like a huge pot with 10 deuce earlier today?
She did. She made a full house.
Oh, right.
I thought in memory of Doyle, she might play the 10 deuce.
Makes a great call. Oh, Pat. Is Pat going to call here? Oh, he makes a call. Suited. Yep. You got to call suited. Yep.
Yeah. 8-1.
Actually, how much does suited matter when it comes to all? Probably not much, right?
Very little. I mean, it adds a little equity to your hand, but in the end, like when you're facing an all-in or considering shoving yourself, it's more about just like your hot cold equity, meaning
Right.
like how strong your hand is just relative to the equity.
It just matters a lot more. Like if the stacks are deeper, and you can have like more fold equity. If like, or like you can like get a lot more chips because you have like more nut or whatever. Right?
For sure.
Oh,
Ace 9 gonna need running spades or
there.
9.
Oh my god, there's
Okay,
another
picks up
spade.
a little bit of equity. Does not get there.
That was
Does not
close.
get
That
there.
was close. Ace.
Wouldn't mind losing by 9.
I would-
Alright. We got 3 players left. Pat has a massive chip lead. Sarah and Jean roughly equal.
We're all going to get $50, and we want to play for the other 50.
See how this plays out. We got Rachel
So the winner gets the
clearing them up.
extra 50.
There's $200.
Talking about it earlier.
We're guaranteed
Yeah.
50. Yeah.
I think Sarah's feeling right now being in the top 2.
I think extremely nervous.
Really?
Probably.
Okay.
Like,
She's very relaxed on us. For
sure.
Yeah.
I would say that, patience is not her strong suit. I did not run like this. Kind of expected two-hand or three-hand pushing out of there tonight.
Oh, really?
No, I thought she did very well.
Right. You can tell. I remember my first tournament table. Where, like, when I got there, I was nervous, man. It's definitely a lot of strength to call. That is definitely gonna raise her. Especially being like,
Yeah, I mean, with this music, they need just anything.
Oh, yeah,
Put
he's
himself back in
shoves it.
line.
shoves it in there. So he's definitely gonna fold. Ooh. Look. Okay. Ooh, what is it? Very
Makes it
cool.
cool. And I think she's going to start to realize that, okay, now she just put a quarter of her stack in.
Right,
And now she
right.
sees that kind of bullying. I think she's going to realize, okay, like, I can't just keep limping in.
Right.
Like, I need to change my strategy a little bit. I need to be the one shoving and just pull the queen down.
I feel like if I was a complete beginner, I probably wouldn't even. I don't think it would, like I would realize that if I was there.
It's
You know,
hard. It's like a hard concept because basically all you know about poker when you start is like, I want to make sure queen is a good card. Like,
Right.
I probably have the best hand with the queen, so I want to play. And you don't realize that, because you're so out of shit by someone else, it's football and playing cards.
Right.
He's going to win the tournament most of the time.
Right. It's just a big bad game inside. Yeah, you got some understanding of like odds, maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
So much things like odds and equity. And, okay, now I'll in with two short stacks.
Tackle.
Really good call.
Really good call. Now she just needs to match a queen or a jack.
So this
here.
is basically and I think they're about even going in. So
Yeah.
whoever loses this one's going to be out. And the winner is going to be heads up against Cat with like probably a 3-1 advantage.
Yeah.
As big as the blinds are, and that is definitely come back.
I think it'd be great for Shrimp to show like the previous Shrimp all in screen maybe.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I feel like we'd have to think a lot about like, oh my god.
Okay, but flush draw for Jean, so Sarah's got to fade the part.
That's crazy. Just flops it. Oh my! Look at that reaction.
That is the face of someone who's flopped their first straight.
Oh, G still got 3K behind.
Complete
Okay.
shock.
What's there? Pat. He can't hold it together. That is ridiculous. I think if Pat loses, he'll be like,
I've always noticed this in tournaments, and it's funny to me. But you start the tournament and it's not very serious, and then it gets like to the double stage, and it
Right.
starts to get pretty serious. Like people realize, and then with 3 or 2 tables left, it's completely intense. Like no one's talking. Everyone like starts to see the big money up top, right? And then the final table is super intense. So it gets down to like and there's like always 3. Probably for the most money. Like usually first place gets something like 20% of the prize pool,
Right.
gets well over something. But the mood always seems to lighten up when you make the top 3.
Oh,
And
really?
I think it's because everyone realizes, okay, we've locked up a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're still playing for a lot. You're still playing for the big playgrounds. But I don't know. I've always noticed. I've won, 8 or 9 tournaments worldwide. I've probably been top 3 20 times. And it's like almost like it's like intense, and then the mood lightens for you.
Is there any sort of edge that you look for because of that? Like, I know that people are maybe a little bit more relaxed.
It's possible. It's possible.
Oh, that was good. No, I'm working on the chip shuffle.
Oh, okay, she folds to 7-3. Solid, solid.
You see it, that was good. Yeah.
All right. Now, Gina is just all in blind. Just a little bit blind here.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that little dance going over there. I don't know what that is.
But it is Sarah's favorite.
I do, and I do.
It is Sarah. So that's-
8 and 16, guys. 8 and 16.
Yeah, I've seen some tweets from what WSOP like talking about how there was people who say coming with like it's ice covers the whole face.
It's very weird. There was 10. I think it was the fourth time she said 10.
Jesus.
I don't get it.
She's
Makes
just
sense.
a
No,
force.
very good show.
Unfortunately, Pat's going to hold this, but she'll take down the.
Yeah, but she'll get all in against
series.
me.
Yeah. Oh, get that AK throw on. That's like a
That's huge,
decent
yeah.
amount too. Yeah.
3 chips. We went against her end man. Like 200.
See what does Gene have here?
7-5 off.
Yeah.
So the whole mask thing, it's weird because the WSOP made a rule like 10 years ago that you can't hide your face.
Oh, really?
Obviously, that got a little bit weird with COVID because then they forced everybody to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to wear a mask, but they can't tell you not to wear a mask.
Interesting.
So it's like,
Hey, you got everybody coming in like ninjas. Well,
cover your face, but you
Nice
can't.
game, Sarah. Very nice.
like you gotta be identifiable, right?
Yes, correct. So I think the floating around was like the class of food. You really couldn't see your face. So it's like someone has the right to see you, but you could be able to know who they are.
Right, and that's to like not give away any tells. That's like the purpose of it.
Oh, you have so much more than me.
All right, so the blind's kind of up again. That was like a 4-1 chip lead as we enter heads up here.
Yeah, honestly, like it's crazy. And as I learned from the past, I think I had like a 3-1 or 2-1 chip lead against someone, and I got absolutely just screwed heads up.
Yeah,
I realized chip leads like it's not that much. It's like 4-1. It's
it
like
goes very
2
fast.
flips, and it's just now you're 1-4. See.
Yeah, it's not a lot of double ups. Like
Sarah.
it feels. I mean, even yesterday at the World Series, I had 2 friends get heads up. David Baker and Justin Liberto got heads up in the 1500 Raz, and I think Justin had a 20-1 chip lead.
Oh wow.
It feels this is in Rats, which is 7-card stuff. And it seems like insurmountable. Like David basically had 2 times. Whatever hand he played, that was going to be it. But it's like it feels impossible. And you realize, okay, if I double 3 times, like 19-2, then it's 17-4, and then it's 13-8. So it's 5 doubles in your chip lead. And if you win any pots in between, it's probably like 3 doubles.
Right.
So it's like definitely the biggest problem. Terrifying. The biggest problem I see in poker tournaments is people just give up when they get short. You still have a lot of equity in the tournament.
Right. Oh. She is shoving in the right spots. I think she's being very enthusiastic. Maybe a little bit too.
A little overexcited. She's made some errors with her chips that, putting 1 chip in and meaning to raise, which are,
tough.
things you don't know as a recreational player. You've never played before. Picking up the blinds here. I think I would have preferred to see her limp there, just given how much she's been limping, and try to get back to shove basically any 2. Like if I'm out there, my opponent, if Sarah limps into me, I'm going to shove the A3 off. That's your full motion.
Yeah.
He jammed right into me. I'm like, game over.
Very exciting. Pat for sure is nervous. Like, if I was Pat and I have this kind of chip lead, I know if I don't win this tournament, I am not going to be happy with myself.
Absolutely, because when you're the favorite and you're the massive favorite in something, if you win, okay, great, you're expected to win.
It's more like relief.
For sure. And if you lose, it's like how in the world can you lose?
Yeah. Oh, he makes it. Ooh. What is what gonna do here? Slice it.
Wow.
That is interesting. I think I think a shove there would have been fine, right?
Yeah, I think so. That shove button. I mean, I think in theory, Sarah's supposed to call up there. Don't hate it.
The glass of wine is now empty.
There's a reason that she's still in the tournament and we're out in the booth.
Right, that is true. That is true. There's some disgusting hands from you, boy, honestly.
Dang it.
But that's okay. Honestly, cash is where it matters for me.
Well, we got some time.
I've been playing a lot online, you know.
Okay.
I found this poker now group style competition.
Oh boy.
You have no idea.
I put on my modern poker too. Now my iPad, you know, like there's sidecar, you can like external display on your iPad, and I have my poker now over there. Played 10-handed, unfortunately, I was kind of cringe, but like I just pulled most of it
Yeah.
until I get like kings or something and shove it, and then like people actually just call it. It's ridiculous.
Sounds like you're a great poker player at this point.
No,
Should I make it interesting?
look at my bank roll, you know. Oh, got shoves with king 10.
This-
Ooh, hopefully Sarah holds here.
Y'all
Yeah, I
are
mean-
right. Daniel, I'm sorry.
Probably should call. But
Oh.
this is what's tough. Like, you know, I think
Oh.
she did call. So
Oh,
it's actually a really good call. Like, it's
Right.
hard to want to put your entire tournament on the line with Queen
Right.
6. It's like you've played 4 hours or you've played multiple days.
I just need
At the end of the day, like, she's getting 2-1 on her money, and
Right.
this is a bad situation for her. But she's only a 2-1 dog.
right.
You know, she has effectively an average hand. That should be shoving 100%. So Sarah should be basically, you know, probably like Jack 5.
Right. Yeah.
And
Oh.
winning, okay, but a lot of
Oh.
that still for Pat against me.
I love these kind of
Not.
flops.
There's no way.
Sarah's gonna get the double.
Wow. If I was Pat right now, like, I'd really be sweating here, you know? Because it's all about momentum, I think. It's huge, you know? She picks this one up, and then, like, she's so confident now, you know?
Extremely confident.
And all of a sudden, it doesn't seem like that big. Look at him. Look at
Exactly.
him.
No, he looks like, okay, like what's happening? Like
He is
now it's slipping
stressed.
away, and it's like you win 1 or 2 more pots, and suddenly, or she doubles. Yeah, you know, lines are so big, like every pot is going to be so meaningful.
Very exciting, honestly. This is,
I literally
this
don't.
is crazy.
No. We're gonna
So the game theory games now are running twice a week, or they're just running Tuesdays?
Only Tuesdays right
Only
now.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, I
and the
think
APC is running Thursdays,
Thursdays and
Saturdays.
Saturdays. Yep.
Maybe I should like try
Up in Firefly, Alpha. Come on out. If you're somehow watching the stream and already are not a part of this, seems unlikely, but you know, you never know.
Yeah.
If we have some viewers out there in the Ukraine or
Yeah, maybe
Or
Ukraine, yeah.
Taiwan or
Jesus
Korea or
Christ.
something.
Yep. Perhaps. All right, let's see.
Okay, now this is like really typical for heads up. You know, nobody has anything.
Right.
Just start to fall prepare. So
What's
kind
happening
of
here?
want to see how
Oh,
they
Pat-
navigate.
That's what. Oh, I want to see Sarah make this call so bad. I think it's a very tough call for her though, but
It's a huge.
oh,
It's tough because
yeah,
I feel like she wanted a call. She had this feeling that Ace High was good,
right.
and
You
it
can
was.
see it, yeah.
But it was such a large percentage of her stack, and I think
Right.
like if you rewind and look back, you kind of pick up the tips and look back and say, oh my god, like all this is going to have 60,000 left.
Yeah.
Like let me wait for a better spot.
Right.
Which I think like that's a fine pull. Like, you don't, I mean, unless you hit an ace, you're going to be in really tough a lot of turns.
Yeah.
At barrel.
What do you think about the shove there from Sarah? Is it like a terrible play?
Doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, if
Okay.
you're going to continue, you might as well call.
Okay.
You're basically only folding out hands that you are already beating.
True.
But you do avoid getting barreled off your head.
Oh, King
I would
10 is
just-
that pretty
much-
solid hand here.
I would just much rather have like some piece of the board or some kind of draw
Right.
and try to shove out some better hands.
Makes sense.
Okay, so I can
All
She
right.
looks like
Sarah here
she-
with 5 blinds. I really want to see her start shoving instead of just calling.
Right. Is that is a call? Okay. Pass. Gonna do with 3-2. I just gotta check that. Oh, yeah, he just checks. Okay. Oh my fucking god, dude. I gets the deuce. That is.
Let's get the deuce and leads. And I don't hate this lead. If you check and face a bet, you're gonna have a really hard time continuing, and it's cool because you can end up folding out hands like which have a lot of equity.
Right.
Wait, I got a red chip. I got a red chip.
I take it there.
No, she did not. You're 60. I can't coach for
Your lead is back kind of where we started, back close to 4-1.
Yeah.
Sarah's told me that her favorite words in poker are all in, so I expect to see a few of those pretty soon.
I tried.
You know if the casinos in Vegas are they strict with IDs on the cash floors?
I don't think so. I mean, it's been 15 years since I was in Vegas as a 20-year-old. I don't think I ever went to Vegas for fake. But I don't remember ever getting ID. Like, obviously, to play in poker tournaments, you need a player's card. To get a player's card, you need an ID. Assume just like there are kids walking around, not on the gaming floor, like like 2-year-olds walking on the gaming floor.
Right.
But there's not people out there like checking people that are just walking around the floor.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, Sarah makes a.
There makes a pair and bets.
Wow, good bet.
The problem that I think she has right now, which is a very common problem among beginning poker players, is this notion of, when I have good hands, I want to bet, and when I have bad hands, I want to check. And it's very logical. It's like, you play pretty honest poker. You don't do a lot of bluffing. You just kind of bet based on the strength of your hand.
Right.
What you don't realize is the other person is trying to come up with a strategy to beat you. So if they can figure out that's what you're doing, it's very easy for them to play.
Right. He's exploitable.
Right.
So you gotta represent your range.
Correct. Or you just want to be try to be more balanced. You want to bet with your good hands and some of your bad hands.
Yeah.
You want to check with your bad hands and some of your good hands. So a single action can always represent a certain hand.
Right.
So basically here with 5 big blinds, Sarah just needs to be either going all in or
Right. I feel like when you're a beginner though, it's very hard to grasp the concept how you should just be shoving it for sure.
for sure. Especially, so we started this tournament with 10,000 chips, and now hours into the tournament, Sarah has 80,000. It's
Right.
I don't want to put 80,000 chips in the pot. With a king 6 offsuit, that hand's not good.
Right.
You told me 4 hours ago to fold this,
Yeah.
and now you want me to go all in.
Right.
But it's just, we have 5 big blinds now, and it's hard. It's hard as a beginner to understand that 80,000 doesn't really mean anything. It's all just about your stack relative to the forced bet.
Right. But she just made a great call here.
So what happened here on the flop? Went check on the flop?
I think so.
I can't imagine unless Pat led.
And then Pat bet on the turn and she called with third pair. Great call. What about Pat's? Whoa! Quick bet. Wow. What? I wonder if she thought she was betting for a value or bluffing there.
I would wager that thought was not usually going through her head.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like what we're talking about. She had a pair, she correctly realized that she had the best hand, and she bet. The problem is, there's nothing worse that can really call it. It's not always just because we have the best hand we want to bet. We also need to be cognizant of the fact that if we're betting for value, and I think she was betting for value, but there needs to be worse hands that can pay us off.
That makes sense. Yeah. So these realizations that you come to see with what do you say? Because you never really read books or did solve or raise.
So when I first started playing, I got my hand on everything I could with poker, and I was on 2+2 forums talking strategy with people every day. And
I see.
Sarah finds kings again. No, but I did a ton of studying for poker, back in the day.
Oh, did you call her?
I'm not sure what happened. I think she limped in. Did she?
So she's on the big blind, yeah. So she just checked.
Oh, so she checked.
Oh, that's a great. Oh, wow.
This is great. I mean, it's a great opportunity to pick up some tips. Yeah, she's done this a couple times earlier in the tournament where she trapped out of the big blind,
Right.
or the small blind.
I feel like Pat probably thinks he's good here.
100%. With Sarah not raising the big blind, he has to assume that she doesn't have an ace.
Right.
So he ends up with second pair. Like, I think he can confidently bet for value.
That seems like a pretty fast bet from Sarah, though.
Now this is a tough spot for her because Sarah basically only gets value from a 10, but
Right.
she's once again correctly determined, okay, that's what that has, and that's what she's going to target.
Wow, Pat must be
Right. And if I'm in
He's
Pat's spot
suffering
here,
here. I mean,
if
he
I'm Pat here,
has
I
to
have
call,
pay it
right?
up. Yeah. I mean, he's getting a great price.
And this is a fat pot. This is a fantastic
This is
play.
what I was talking about. Why I was more nervous about.
He's doing it.
This has never
He's
happened.
really doing it.
Never done that. It's been great.
I feel like for Pat, like he's got to call here, right, with those odds. But the thing is, I bet he doesn't even see this kind of play coming from Sarah. Like the trapping with the kings, like
No,
once
it's
he sees that shit.
when he's going to
Yeah,
call,
he
and he's
calls.
going to be so shocked when
Yep.
he sees this.
Yup. Oh my goodness.
They're rarely stand up double this.
Did I win?
But I mean, now that he's at like 3 streets of value with second pair,
Yeah.
it's just that's very hard to do.
Pat is sweating here. Or,
I'm
yeah,
start-
oh my god, look at that shift lead.
starting to think that's the one maybe.
This is insane.
But 2 keys, I cannot do it.
They should remember what I said. That's hilarious.
This is insane.
She checked. She on the big one.
I don't think we've had a final table go this long, honestly.
Very long.
Am I 16?
You're 8. He's
I feel like Pat feels like he has a skill advantage, so he wants to try to play close ball. You know, it's difficult. I mean, he's only got he's got 8 big lines,
Right.
and it's possible. If you really think your fans is that big, like you don't want to get it in.
choke on this foolishness.
Right. Could you leave me up and just chance them, right?
Correct.
That's a raise.
Raise.
Oh, she raises with 5. Maybe. Wait, but suited connectors are aesthetically pleasing.
Aesthetically pleasing, but I think she's realizing that okay, now she's the chip leader. She can kind of dictate the action. You know, when she was the short stack, she was playing a lot tighter, was hesitant to put her money in.
A lot of very good intuition there. Pat actually calls with the queen 3. That's interesting. All right, let's see the flop here. Absolutely nothing.
Blinds will be raised at the end of this hand.
Every 20 minutes.
Nothing on the turn either.
That is $25.
Ooh, Sarah makes a bet. Pat folds. That's a great bet right there. Blinds are now up to 1632. Pat is at 3 small
You are now
big
32.
blinds.
You are 16. Yeah. Every 20 minutes they go up.
Oh. So yeah, we're on a 15-minute delay here.
Is that what I look like?
Yeah. Yeah. But you know,
Does it? Is that? Are y'all sitting right here?
we were just chilling here. Yeah. What spoiler?
I hate everything about this.
Commentators.
I already forgot what I did, to be honest.
That's got ace 8 here. Ace 8 off.
Oh my god, my facial expressions are fantastic.
It's not good.
Quick fold.
Do you have a zit up here? Okay, just know that. Yeah.
Oh shit, I should have called this. It's the same thing. I know actually.
You made some really good plays, honestly.
Did I?
Yeah, especially with the one with the kings. That was
Dude, the king was sick. For 5 hands before, he's like,
33.
you should check and not.
Well, that could also block.
Checking? There was no, I knew it was a
when you do
win.
that, it could also
But then he didn't raise, and there was an ace in there, so you raise if you have an ace.
hey, what?
But you see, he took a 10 and he obviously might have been good, but
Right,
he didn't put the numbers.
because you trapped it, because you didn't raise, so it's like less likely you have an ace.
I'm gonna try.
Sure.
Right now, 16 out there now.
So you got like max value there. Max value.
Honestly, I was just ready to go bed. I should have played a little. I could have done a little bit. I should have folded that. That's not. I think I think it.
That'd be 32. 32,000 for that.
So put out 1 red and 2 blues.
More red, two. Look, a little color line. That's okay. That's fine.
You're doing great.
That's fine. I'm supposed to help. You don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what she's doing.
Neither do I.
You are 32, you're going to be 16.
Okay, so the next one I have to bet that much, 32.
Correct.
Okay.
As,
You didn't see your name today. You can't get close.
Takes me a couple of weeks.
bro, when.
It's kind of performance as much.
Oh, no. It's not.
But
Is he shuffle? Honestly, it was the queen. That's what's
but all you entertain.
He
I
shuffled.
got the heads up pretty
It was the
fast.
queen jack that was fire. That was sick.
All right, well,
Roll them up.
these is me now. Anyway, at Chelsea Easter, there's got 2 overs. Very, very good call. I guess we'll see what happens.
Depending if you lose.
Nothing. Nothing. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, Pat doubles up for 3s. Interesting. Interesting. Huh.
Heads up with 8.
It's really anybody's game here. Stacks are pretty even. Both at like 5 bigs. So the stream is actually on a 15-minute delay. So the game has actually already come to an end. I don't know who's won, but yeah, I guess we'll see. But that's why Dan's not with me anymore. He's hanging out with Sarah near the bar. Probably gonna go home soon. It is pretty late, but you know, I work pretty hard. So, all right. Sarah's got 4-3 of diamonds here. What is she gonna do? Okay, that's a call. Jack 6. Pat checks over, check. Oh, Pat hits the pair. Probably thinks he's good here. I think Pat will probably bet on the river here, right? Maybe get some calls from Ace High. Sarah makes the bet. What the? Oh, we got Dan back here. All right, Dan. I don't know who's still. I'm kind of want to be surprised, you know. But I did not expect the bet from Sarah here. This is a very interesting.
I've
bet.
seen none of this hand, but just coming in, it looks like a great bet. Like it's a scary board. She has the worst possible hand she can have, and she's bluffing.
Right.
Like in theory, it's perfect.
Think about if I was Pat here, I would probably. Ooh, I don't even know what I would do. Like, because I feel like for a beginner player, like to make that kind of bet, I would probably think it was for value. You know.
She looks like
With
very
like
confident.
No, like no pair. Yeah. Wow.
Gets it through. That's just a great bluff. I didn't see what happened. I mean, I assume somebody had to go in.
I think it was like.
Or was it limp and check down?
Sarah called, and then Pat just checked, and it was like checked down until the river, and then Sarah was in position, and then she made that like 50K bluff, which was like almost pot. It was like 2/3 maybe. Pat's got 10-8 of spades. And what does Sarah have here? Is it not picking up on the antennas? What's happening? What does Sarah think about the whole game theory RFID tables? This is the first time she's seen it, right?
This is the first time she's seen it. Thinks it's very cool. You know, it's interesting because it feels like the rest of our player base all has, you know, not that they're professional poker players, but they do play a lot of poker. They know the game well, and everyone's been very receptive of it. So it's interesting to have someone that's never played before come out and see, you know, what is their experience like.
Yeah.
Check. Check.
32.
Right, we are back. The camera's on. Oh, I just got spoiled by the winner. Fuck, I didn't know. I mean, that kind of sucks, but that's okay. Anyway. Not even stacks here.
Even stacks that would play chips, even if it was only like 5 big ones. You know, it should be a lot of all-ins.
Probably won't.
No, probably should be the last level. I'd really like to see Sarah just all in with this hand, but I think she's all kind of been how she's ending and stuff.
Yeah. What that's here? It's got a little whale bone.
I feel like Sarah's all alone in the corner.
Oh, she
comes with the min raise. I like it.
Ooh, how the king 6?
It's bad in a really tough spot.
King 6 is just a call maybe?
I don't know. 5 big blinds. I mean, you have probably have to call and just maybe snap and go, or maybe flop some equity and go with it.
Is deep in thought right now.
I think I might fold.
Wow, he makes it call.
And I just want to play him up.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. No hearts. Okay, ace high is so good here.
Minimum 32.
It's a juicy
I
board.
think Sarah just needs to jam here. I mean, sometimes you get called and you're dead, but
At
it's
least,
just it's so
at
much
least
money.
a bet.
Yeah, there's just so much money in the pot. You only have 85K.
Oh.
There's 128 in the pot.
She says it so confidently too. That's got to fold, right?
And she said I wanted to play.
If I was Pat right now, I would. It would just be so expressive. It is. I've been there before.
Fucking, huh?
I'm not calling that shit. She's got a straight flush. She got 10-9.
Sarah now with a 2-1 chip lead. Got that down to his last 3 big blinds. And she closes it out.
Yes.
You've been playing a lot of chess in Vegas.
Now the chess game is sadly falling off.
Tough.
Too much poker.
No, I actually. Oh, dude, I got like about the exact code for it.
Don't worry, I'll be back in the office. My winning rating will come for everyone.
Oh,
To
Pat,
witness.
she shoves it with king 10. Ooh,
That makes a good shove here.
like Jack 7 is not a very like aesthetically pleasing.
It's
hand,
not.
you know what I mean?
Definitely not, but at the same time, like she's getting very good
Oh,
price.
she calls.
And
Ooh.
it's the ability to just win the
Ooh.
tournament. Like she's 40% right now.
That
to win
is
the tournament.
true. Oh, 40. Yeah,
You saw what happened to me last time.
Also the diamond, but I think it was the king of diamonds.
right.
She's gonna make just a 7.
That is tough.
Okay.
That is.
That doubles back in.
If I was Pat right now,
This is-
oh my god,
oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm pumped here.
I think this is the deepest we've ever gone
Right.
in a game. I mean,
Yeah, it's an hour 40 minutes.
only 10 blinds left in play.
I'll play some cash afterwards. I'm feeling good.
Back to the fraternity house,
Yeah.
getting after it.
Fake money, fake money. Yeah. I'll continue my hot. Actually, no, I've been running pretty bad to be home. Yesterday, I played like 4 hours of online. It was like terrible. No, terrible. No, terrible. But that's okay. I was studying for my driving test. I was like playing online.
Wait, how'd the driving test go today?
There you go. I didn't pass. But if I do well in poker, I'll be able to like subsidize the driving test. Like,
Well, if you do well in the poker, you can afford your own driving.
See you again before the end of the month.
yeah, that's true. I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is true. No. Okay, I'm not good enough at poker. I'm not it.
All right, Sarah makes a good fold with the 60
Great
up
fold.
on the button.
Great
It's
fold.
hard. It's like you have a lot of your chips in there. You kind of want to protect them.
Right.
It's important to save like half your big blind when you only have 3.
But we got a lot of people watching this. Mono with the iPad. I don't know how his arm doesn't get sore as holding on his right hand. So, I just,
He kicked my butt yesterday. He did not.
maybe Sarah's like got a lot. Been a while. The glass of wine has been empty. You know, maybe that has something to do with it.
It feels like it needs to refill. I agree with you.
Oh,
Sarah, all
that's
in
a
10
great
nights, dude.
shot.
A really good shot.
I just want to make sure.
aesthetically, 10-9 is one of my favorite hands.
I think
That's
that's
gotta call
probably
it,
going to
right?
have to call here. Just too much invested. And King High can be the best hand I'll have.
I'd be pretty nervous though. Like King Suit kind of a bad hand too at the same time. Like,
That's a call. Roll him up.
yeah, that's a good call.
I always feel like way more confident with 10-9 here than I do the King 6.
Yeah, look. Whoa, it's like a 50. How?
I mean, 10-9 suited is a great hand.
How is that 50-50?
Oh, it's a bad start. Oh, the King of Spades too. So much.
Wait, it's a runner. Oh,
Any Jack.
Yeah,
Any
runner.
Jack.
Oh,
Bedtime.
Well, that's the end of it. That's going to take it down.
good run.
And we have like our first and second place finishers right here. Can we talk to both of y'all? I mean, we're gonna turn the camera around.
Right here. All right. Oh, that's a little awkward. All right. Let's see. Gonna get the camera working. Oh my goodness.
We're all here. We're all here.
What's up?
You got Pat. You got Sarah. Pat, congrats.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
win.
you.
Sarah, congrats on the second.
Thanks.
It's great playing. I mean, the rumor was, I don't want to take away from your win. The rumor was this was your first poker tournament. So
First poker tournament ever.
thoughts? Like,
Had a great time.
yeah,
A lot of alcohol was consumed. Yeah, it was fun.
very cool. How do you think like how would the tournament go for you? Like heads up obviously went like really long. Like how was the battle? Like when it got down to the 2 of y'all?
Well, the tournament down the stretch, I was just running good, and I got a pretty good chip stack going into the final table, and the final table was going well. And then I hear at some point during the final table that someone's sitting here playing her first ever game, and she's made it to 7th place, to 6th place.
And has
And
no
next
idea what
thing-
she's doing.
Next thing you know, I'm heads up with her, and I looked over and I told her about the table. I was like, I'm more nervous for this heads up match than I think any other heads up I've ever played because you know it's hard to it was so hard playing her heads up because I didn't know how to put her on any hands because because finding out that she was pretty new to the game, but it made it for a really interesting dynamic, and she played an incredible game. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely, yeah.
Well,
What did you think about the King's hand?
Oh, I mean, it blew all of our minds. I mean, her just flatting in there with Kings there, and had no fear of that ace on the flop there at all. And I had no idea where I was in that hand, and my mind was just there was a couple hands heads up, and I had no idea where I was at all.
Right. We were saying in the booth, like when you called and Sarah had Kings and you had the 10, like
Yeah.
you kind of felt like you were beat, but you were going to be so completely shocked to see the hand that she ended up showing
Right.
up with.
I mean, I
That
was pretty certain she had an ace in her hand. I'm just like, all right, I'll just really often see it. And then when she turned over Kings, the whole room was shocked.
I didn't even know there was an ace on the board. I was
She
just
got
like,
rolled.
two kings.
Oh!
I totally knew there was an ace on the board.
No, she plays sometimes tricky, and I'm sure when I go back and forth, I'll see that she bluffed me off of some hands as well. And I can't wait to go back and watch because I was so lost in so many spots there.
All right, last question for you, Sarah. We heard that you're going to Vegas tomorrow for the World Series of Poker.
Yes.
What events are you playing? Are you
All of them.
1,500 monster
All of
stacks this
them,
weekend. 50K Poker Players Championship on Sunday. I heard your Kabuki game is
Very,
nasty.
very nasty. Ace, 2, 3, 4 offsuit C's.
That's all we need to know.
I don't know what Benigami is.
It's called Boogers for short, but
You said it was a Korean game?
It is.
That's it for tonight.
All right.
awesome.